ACC on ESPN. It's a whiteout, and it's a sellout here at the Watsco Center in Coral Gables, Florida. The 19th ranked Miami Hurricanes trying to avenge a 2-point loss to Duke 2 weeks ago in Durham. And look at the conference. Look at the top 6, all separated by 1 game in the loss column. The implications of this one are obvious here tonight. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Coral Gables. Dan Schulman, Fran Fraschilla in the ACC. How about that? Both of these teams won hard-fought games over good teams on Saturday. We talked about Miami losing by 2 to Duke a couple of weeks ago. There's a lot to chew on heading into this one.
Yeah, both of these teams are clawing to the top of the ACC. It's a battle, obviously. That's the similarities, Dan. The contrast are Miami, the older team, the smaller team. Duke, the young team, the freshmen, the size, they've got it all. And here's what I love. Jon Scheyer, 37 years old. 37 years ago, Jim Larrañaga was in his second year coaching at Bowling Green.
Coach L has been coaching longer than Coach Scheyer has been alive, to which Jim Larrañaga said to us today, John is very young. It's a good scene here. Again, it is a sellout here in Miami. These Hurricanes are good. They've got some quality wins. Again, they're ranked 19th. Duke is just on the outside of the rankings. Looking in, Jim Larrañaga in his 12th season as Miami head coach. Overall, 39 years as a head coach, better than 700 wins. Jon Scheyer in his first year as a head coach and picked up a very big win over North Carolina 48 hours ago.
Yes, he did. He's got to have his team turn around now and play in this environment. Of course, Miami, the same situation after knocking off Clemson at Clemson.
Doug Shows, Doug Sermons, and Courtney Green are the officials. And away we go with the Blue Devils. Second time in 2 games I've done it. Get it out of the way early with the Blue Devils winning the opening tip. And keep an eye on Derek Lively II. What an outstanding game, Fran, he had against Carolina on Saturday.
Coming out party, 14 rebounds, 8 blocks.
Physical battle down low. Mitchell can't convert. Loose ball to Lively. And now corralled by the Canes.
First play of the game, they went inside to Mitchell. They thought they had a size advantage. Turned out not to be.
Isaiah Wong the kick. Norchad Omier. If you had the first bucket of the game being an Omier 3 on your bingo card, you're a big winner.
That is his second of the season on 11 attempts. What a start.
The starting 5 for the Blue Devils. And again, this has changed in a couple of weeks. Duke's a bit of a different team. Jim Larrañaga talking to us about that today. Derek Lively II in a whole different role. The steal by Isaiah Wong. And he throws it down with authority. 5-0 Miami.
Good test for the young Devils on the road. Quick start for the Hurricanes.
Quick turnaround for both teams after their Saturday games. Lively is fouled on his way to the bucket and will be heading to the line.
Now watch these quick hands. These guards are outstanding. Take a look. Defense collapses. A little sloppy there by Proctor, who's really stepped up. And Wong gets an easy one.
Wong averaging better than 16 points per game. At the line, Lively. 14 rebounds, 8 blocks in the win over Carolina on Saturday. A look at the Miami lineup, an experienced team, including a terrific player out of the transfer portal, Nigel Pack from Kansas State.
Yep, only 5'9", but he's a dynamo. Dan, you know what I loved early? They ran a play for Derek Lively to get him going on that pick and roll. Trying to capitalize on that motivation of that game on Saturday night.
Miami a team that really shares the ball, looking for the high percentage look. They're not the biggest team in the world. How about the backdoor cut by Jordan Miller, and he'll be going to the line.
Well, if you haven't seen Miami play this year, it's really a thing of beauty. They do share the ball. They move it side to side. Take a look right here. Watch the fake, back cut. Look at all that space in the lane, and you see how far Lively was out on the perimeter guarding Omier.
So here's Miller at the line, fifth-year senior. from Middleburg, Virginia, had 19 points and 8 rebounds against Duke at Cameron in the loss a couple of weeks ago, and they've got 4 guys who can really fill it up.
Oh, there's no question. And the way they play, Dan, you pick a different go-to guy every night.
What a start for the Hurricanes, up 6, less than 2 minutes in. Tyrese Proctor, the 18-year-old from Australia, doing a lot of the ball handling. Jeremy Roach playing more off the ball in recent games and has scored 41 points in his last 2 games. Filipowski misses the 3. Mitchell misses the follow. It stays with Duke.
Duke trying to get that ball side to side and spread this defense out.
And Proctor to inbound it. Boy, nice split of the double team there by Roach, but a little strong off the glass. Good pace at the beginning of this one. Wooga Poplar for 3. 10-1 Miami. Timeout Duke. Young team on the road, and they've been punched in the mouth here early tonight by the Hurricanes.
And they have to respond, there's no question. The key on the road in the ACC is just go toe-to-toe the first 5 to 10 minutes, and they've got to respond right now. Quick start by the Hurricanes.
No subs for the Blue Devils. Jon Scheyer just wanted to slow things down, let everybody catch their breath. And a turnover. Roach traveling. And of course, he's the one veteran guy they've got out there. He's out there with 4 freshmen right now.
Yep, and remember this, Dan, these starters played a lot of minutes on Saturday night, 35 or more from 4 of them.
Duke beating Carolina on Saturday. Miami winning on the road at Clemson. What a change in midair there by Omier, and he comes down with a rebound.
Oh, he's a quick jumper, too.
Long with a clean look. Yes! And Miami getting anything they want right now. Filipowski, great look. Mitchell met at the rim. And count the basket, I believe. Doug Sermons is saying, count the basket.
Now that,
so did a Miami player have his hand in the cylinder from beneath the basket?
That's what he saw from his vantage point. Take a look right now. Oh, he went through it. Yep.
Yeah.
Good call.
Yeah, very good call.
But I'll tell you this, that's the 4th time that Duke has gone up. You've got to go up with force against this team. They've got a size advantage. They've got to play to their strength.
Yeah, Duke's got 2 7-footers on the floor, and Filipowski and Lively. Omier, the 5-man for Miami, is just 6'7". Poplar. And down with the rebound, Lively. We say Omier is just 6'7", but physical, great energy, Sun Belt Player of the Year last year at Arkansas State. Lively, and now Duke seems to have found its footing a little bit the last couple of times down the floor.
And they've got to take advantage of Lively and Filipowski at the rim. You can get Lively on the run and pick and rolls, and I would play Filipowski and Roach 2-man basketball. I think that's going to be their strength as the end of the season plays out.
Long, a great look. Miller short on the 3. And Duke ball as Roach brings it over. Jacob Grandison is checked into the game now for the Blue Devils.
See, right now, Dan, it's got to be Roach, and they got to just call the second timeout.
Wow, so 2 timeouts used in the first 4 minutes and 15 seconds by the Blue Devils. Big minutes Saturday against Carolina, and a big test. Miami has come out on fire here tonight.
Welcome back to Miami, where the Hurricanes have an 8-point lead over Duke. And prior to every practice at Miami, the 10 commitments to Miami basketball are laid out on the baseline. And I asked Coach Larrañaga, which one is the most important tonight against Duke? And he quickly said, would you ask the Lord which of the 10 commandments is the most important? In other words, they are all important, but he did emphasize the need to rebound against Duke. So we're going to take a look at commitment number 5. We will block out, rebound, and run. Miami is 15-0 when they out-rebound opponents. Last matchup against Duke, Fran, they were out-rebounded by 6. Coach was not happy with that. How would you evaluate the rebounding effort so far?
It's 4-4. It's still early, Dre, but I love the idea that he has those commitments, Dan, because you see him every day and it becomes brainwashing.
And Duke, a terrific rebounding team, especially at the offensive end. And there's some evidence right there. A couple of taps by Kyle Filipowski, but he couldn't knock it home.
No, it's like the 5th or 6th basket they've missed inside, but you have to play through Kyle in the post. I like the idea coming out of that timeout. Watch this offense. They spaced the floor beautifully.
Omier got it back. Boy, just great hustle to run it down.
Yep, second quick jump rebound for him, and Derek Lively can't let that happen.
Isaiah Wong, and the follow by Miller. Holy cow.
This right now is a toughness issue for Duke, and they've got to figure it out.
The lead is back to 10 for the Hurricanes.
Yeah, they had Lively on the lob, and they missed him.
Proctor hounded by Nigel Pack. Lively, a 3. Too strong, and Poplar wraps up the rebound. Jordan Miller, who flushed it at the other end last time down, in my mind, Fran, as underrated a player as there is in this conference. He's going to be a pro.
Absolutely. You know, he's going to be an NBA small forward or 2 guard. Watch this kid.
Nigel Pack, the former first-team All-Big 12 player with Kansas State last year.
Yeah, I got a chance to watch him a lot. Now, right now, Dan, I still think you got to play through the low post. They have a size advantage, but they have to play with more strength and toughness. Throw it in, that's it.
Filipowski bigger than Miller. These two met up in Durham a couple of weeks ago, and each managed to score a lot on the other. Filipowski's got the size, Miller's got the speed and the quickness.
Exactly. The first play for each team was to Miller or Filipowski, and I would go to Kyle as much as I could.
Poplar turns the corner, pulls up at the elbow, and buries it. Well, Jim Larrañaga talked to us about Wooga Poplar at shoot-around today, a guy who didn't really start playing basketball till his sophomore year of high school, was a baseball player, tremendously talented, all kinds of upside. He may be a breakout candidate next year. Around and out for Grandison.
Well, what I like the way he described him, it's like he's going to be here next year, you know, and I like that.
And Omier travels to turn it back over to Duke.
Dan, let's go back. We talked about Lively being open on that pick and roll. Take a wide look. Watch right here now. This is Miami. Yeah, look at the spacing and driving. And this is going to be fun to watch these guys.
Subs for both sides. Anthony Walker, a 4th-year junior, if you will, from Baltimore, has come into the game, as has Bensley Joseph, 6'2 sophomore, terrific defender. He's on Proctor. Ryan Young with the ball for Duke. The grad transfer from Northwestern, Jalen Blakes, is in the game as well. Again wearing the Batman mask because of the broken nose.
Second turnover for Proctor. And that's not a good sign, because he has really started to mature as a combo point guard with Roach.
Boy, Roach ran just went to the bench, and he's getting ready to check back in again. Barely sitting. Blakes runs it down. We should mention no Dariq Whitehead again tonight for Duke, still working his way back from that leg injury. Loose ball, Wong on the deck, Proctor as well.
Oh, good save.
How about that? Proctor throwing it through the legs to a teammate. That's in the cylinder. Basket interference, says Doug Shows. Filipowski saying he never touched it.
Well, he can't review it at this point in the game. Now, the bright side is I like that Duke is starting to attack the basket.
Did he touch it? He says he didn't. But the basket is waved off. You'll get a pretty good look right here.
Ooh, I don't know.
I don't know. Well, this is Fran's first time seeing Duke in person this season. Did a lot of work heading into this game. And Fran, you've got some things that you think Duke can and needs to do better to keep getting better this season.
Yes, shrink the playbook, Dan. They run a lot of stuff. They don't run anything great yet, but if you shrink it, then you play through Filipowski outside, inside, Roach on the outside, pick and roll them. And I think those are the two best offensive options.
And then what does co-pilots mean?
Co-pilots means you've got Roach, you've got Proctor. They play off each other. They take care of the ball together. You've got to get Derek Lively involved in the offense. How? Off the dunker spot, lob plays, and then this guy. This is how you're going to fix that rotation, is get Derek Whitehead back soon.
Would give them a great option off the bench. It looks like they have settled on a starting five right now, but they'd love to get 20 to 25 minutes a night from a guy who's got an unbelievable amount of talent.
No question. He can give you a third score, no doubt about it. A little zone now.
How about that?
Yep.
Walker just kind of pushed it up on the rim, but it wouldn't go down. It is a 10-point lead for Miami. Duke has already had 5 offensive rebounds in the game, but they have 0 second chance points.
And I think they're going to start to finish. I like their activity at the rim.
They've also got 5 turnovers, which is a major problem. Walker, and knocked away by Filipowski, and back come the Blue Devils. Roach off the back of the iron, off his leg, and now Miami ball. A little ragged here. This is Harlan Beverly, fourth-year player from Detroit. Some good options off the bench for Jim Larrañaga. Joseph, Beverly, Walker.
Yeah, this guy, Bensley Joseph, he went toe-to-toe with Filipowski in prep school. They know each other well.
A.J. Casey, a freshman from Chicago, into the game as well. So Miami's already gone 9 deep. Look at the range here. I mean, there is no such thing as too deep for Nigel Pack. Hey, coming up next, a great game out of the Big 12. We will take you to Lawrence. It'll be Jalen Wilson and number 9 Kansas hosting Marcus Carr and number 5 Texas in a big-time Big 12 matchup between 2 of the top teams in the conference and in the country.
And you know Marcus Carr well, as I do. The young man from Toronto is having a fabulous year for the Longhorns.
That should be a great one. They'll meet again on the last weekend of the regular season down in Austin.
2-3 zone now by the Blue Devils. Nicely done.
He's so good.
He is.
He's such a good player in so many different ways. Jordan Miller, the kind of guy, you know, he can have like a 14-7-7 night on you. He can beat you a lot of different ways.
And I'm going to say this again. Where is Kyle Filipowski in this offense right now?
Ryan Young banging with O'Meara. Mitchell gets back the loose ball. Blakes is wide open. And now, well, it did belong to Miami, but not for long. Boy, it's like a bar of soap out there right now.
Yeah. There's a lot of 50-50 balls out there, no question about it. Look at this.
We need a little music.
Yeah.
We need a little music
Keystone,
with this.
Keystone Cops.
Yeah. But you're right, the size advantage is for Filipowski with whoever's guarding him.
I believe so.
Yeah.
And that has happened some this year.
Miller turns it over. Boy, nobody can control the basketball right now. Filipowski for 3.
There you go. Yep. I'd love to see a lot of 2-man basketball. Proctor and Kyle, Roach and Kyle Filipowski. You know the play down the stretch that won that game was that side pick and roll.
Yep.
That freed Jeremy Roach at the rim, put him up 4 against Carolina.
And Duke staying in the zone.
Yep.
Miller in and out. Filipowski the rebound. I'll tell you, John Shire's doing a lot of walking, a lot of pacing. And he can't like how loose they've been with the ball. That's 7 turnovers. Omier, everything but the finish. Oh, he'll want that one back. Mitchell, good defense by Omier. And it's out of bounds to Miami.
I love Mark Mitchell's energy, his enthusiasm. He's a slasher. But I do believe he's got to look inside first before he puts that ball on the floor in traffic. And I'm not being critical, Dan. I'm seeing it from a coach's eyes. You know, if you're a Duke fan, you know the 2 best scorers are Roach and Filipowski.
Pack and Wong in the backcourt for Miami, one of the best backcourts in the country. I would think 2 experienced guys who can each put up big numbers.
I love the way they've played together this year, no question. They are a fun team to watch, the way those guards move the ball.
An Elite 8 team a year ago, and of course Pack wasn't a part of that. Scoops it up. That was a pass, and Miller will finish. And I think somebody lost a shoe. Nigel Pack lost a shoe. So they'll blow the whistle to allow him to put that back on, and that'll mean the under 8 timeout as well. Miami up 11. The book on Kyle Filipowski when we come back.
Health insurance.
Well, the 7-time ACC Rookie of the Week. We've got the book on him, Kyle Filipowski. First of all, he's 7 feet. Watch the mobility on the perimeter. Can drive to the basket and finish. He's got a low post presence. We've seen it early today because he's got 6 rebounds. Watch the spin inside. And then, of course, we've already seen him knock down a 3. Little pick and pop right here with Tyrese Proctor. And Dan, I've said it, I think that he's got to maintain that aggressiveness, get involved in this offense, make sure that they get a chance to play through Kyle Filipowski inside.
He's got 5 points and 6 rebounds in this game tonight. A guy who Jon Scheyer, as he told us earlier today, he kicked him out of practice once in the preseason. Did not quite see that extra effort, that nasty that we have seen throughout the regular season from Filipowski, but he has certainly developed into one of the best freshmen in the nation.
Yes, he has. And you see right here, Roach and Filipowski trying to play 2-man basketball.
Jon Scheyer also maybe looking for a combination that'll click. Jaden Schutt, the freshman from Yorkville, Illinois, is into the game. Plays sparingly as we got a foul call going against the Blue Devils right now. And Jon Scheyer maybe looking for Schutt to knock down a 3 or 2 and try to spark them offensively.
That's his game. There's no question about it. Freshman from Yorkville. Hasn't played a ton of minutes, but he can light it up. That was the reputation in high school. Dan, you can't have 9 turnovers in the first 12 minutes and expect to beat a team like Miami. And this is a 1-1-3 zone, but it's really a traditional 2-3.
Wong has it rejected by Lively.
Well, they tried to run a lob play there for Wong, but Lively was waiting in the lane, and they decided not to throw it at the rim.
Into Miller. Off to Omier, and it counts. The 2 officials were looking at each other, and the signal from Doug Sermons, it counts, and a foul.
This kid is 6'7" tall, but he's 6'7" wide as well. Take a look at what he does in traffic. There's the back cut, the dish, and watch him absorb contact and finish inside.
Let's bring in Dre.
Yeah, Dan, I talked to Jordan Miller right after shoot-around, and he said in the first matchup against Duke, he said we didn't finish plays. They have so many shot blockers and so much size. It was our first time seeing it. He said we should be able to finish and make plays in the paint better tonight against Duke. We just saw it.
Absolutely. We have seen a lot of evidence of that. Omier 6'7", 250. And has 10 double-doubles on the season. Roach from the corner, short on the 3. Filipowski the rebound.
Yeah, good decision right there to kick it back out. They got more time on the clock. Good job of offensive rebounding.
Filipowski with Pack on him. Lively spins, kicks. Proctor blocked. Tapped ahead by Miller. Finished by Poplar.
Defensive toughness by Miami. This is what they are about.
And what a scene here in Coral Gables right now. Canes by 16. Roach. Miami ball.
The contrast in styles is one thing. The contrast in experience is evident right now. Take a look. The kick out, the block shot, and Poplar, you know, we know he's an energy guy. He's a defensive presence on the wing. And I love the idea what you talked about earlier. They think he's good now, but they think he's going to be terrific in another year.
He's playing with a lot of older guys who get more looks than he does, but he's got a lot of ability. A corner three way too strong from Casey. Duke has missed 8 of its last 9, but a bucket and a foul when they desperately needed it from Jeremy Roach.
He saw the opening, he got to the rim, and he played with some force right there.
Harlan Beverly back into the game now for Miami. Poplar has gone to the bench, Fran, with his second foul.
When you got guys like Beverly and Joseph coming off the bench, I'm not sure it's that big a loss for Jim Larrañaga. And he's just standing there, Dan, like a professor. 73 years old. The coaching is done for the most part during practice.
And first-time nominee for the Naismith Hall of Fame. Congratulations and best of luck to Jim Larrañaga.
Absolutely.
Miller.
Oh, man.
You can't give him that. He's too good at that spot.
Yep. Too easy. You're going to play that zone with Miller at the foul line. You got to bring your big guy up and not allow him to just attack easily.
Grandison, the 6th-year senior, into Mitchell. Lively, and a goaltending call. Count the basket.
See, Mark Mitchell gets the ball inside, Dan, and he double pumps. You have to watch this. You got the size advantage. Go right at the rim. Don't double pump. You're a big, strong guy.
Duke's come out of the zone now. Joseph rejected by Lively. Something he's doing more and more often in recent games. Mitchell, no. Filipowski with a follow.
One thing you could say about Kyle Filipowski, he's got a lot of skill, but he does have toughness. And right now, if you're Duke, you just got to get this deficit manageable. I want to see some more fight and toughness.
Wong has it knocked away by Lively. Got it back. And Miller, nice cut into the lane, and he's fouled.
That's a situation where I thought Miller was not going to be able to get a quality shot right here. But watch how easy this is, Dan, in the middle of the zone. See, Derek Lively's got to come up here. Once he goes up, those two forwards go to the basket. You can't let Miller operate at that high post area.
Miller in double figures already in this game. The 18th consecutive game he has had 10 or more points. His season high 25 against NC State. Hey, tomorrow night, an ACC-SEC doubleheader at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Armando Bacot on the heels will take on Tyree Appleby at Wake Forest. And then it'll be Kentucky and Arkansas from Rupp in the second game at 9 o'clock Eastern. Should be a great night of hoops on ESPN and streaming live on the app.
What a job Steve Forbes does. Last year, Alondas Williams comes in from Oklahoma.
Yep.
And he's the ACC Player of the Year. And Tyree Appleby averaged about 10 points a game last year at Florida. And he's been just absolutely dynamite.
I think Wake's last 3 losses all have been by 2 points. I mean, the top, say, 7 or 8 teams in the league tightly bunched, and that's another reason why this game is so big. Roach lost it. The turnovers continue to plague the Blue Devils, and look at the burst of speed in transition. Long with the finish. That's 10 Duke turnovers already.
And this game is all about those turnovers.
Roach trying to create a little space, left it short. Omier again, Wong in transition, and fouled by Lively. Isaiah Wong going to the rim strong each of his last 2 times down the court.
Watch this, Dan. You think Isaiah Wong is worried about the 7-footer? No way. He's going at the rim and attacking. Miami has been on the attack from the get-go. Yeah, I agree. You know, they had a great pep in their step today at practice. These 4 guys probably are going to have a pep in their step soon.
Big game. We got some Marlins here, left to right. Jazz Chisholm, Avisail Garcia, Jorge Soler, and that's Coach John Jay, who enjoyed a nice long big league career and went to the University of Miami.
Exactly. Yep. They've had great baseball through the years. You know, to get back to what Seth said, when we saw the Duke Blue Devils come in here today, they had a pep in their step.
Yes, they did.
They were upbeat, positive coming off the win.
And then it's 10-1 2 minutes into the game.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. And the biggest thing, Dan, has been the turnovers.
Yeah.
They have to cut those turnovers down.
10 turnovers that Miami has turned into 12 points. Young looking inside for Filipowski. They can't get him the ball. And another turnover, number 11 committed by the Blue Devils.
Yep, they're playing like the ball is a hand grenade with the pin out, and they have to calm down right now.
Again, Duke defeated Miami by 2 just 2 weeks ago with Cameron. But Jim Larrañaga's always had a lot of success against Duke. He is 7-9 as the Miami head coach against Duke.
Well, there's a good reason for that, Dan. They've always had guards that could attack those Duke bigs, the pressure man-to-man defense. You think of guys like Larkin and Rodriguez, Durant Scott, more recently Cam McGusty, and they know how to play Duke.
They've had some good players most of the time, too. Coach L's got older players for the most part on his team. And here they are in transition again. Wong adjusted midair but couldn't finish with a left hand. Young a touch down low, and he finishes. Tremendously efficient player, the grad transfer from Northwestern.
Yes, and Grandison is their best post passer all season long. A good find inside for Grandison and Young.
Miami almost as many points in the paint as Duke has overall right now. And now Jordan Miller called for an illegal screen. As we were talking about, Jim Larrañaga 7-9 against Duke as the Miami head coach. The other 3 guys tremendously accomplished coaches with terrific programs. It goes to show you how tough it is. But Jim Larrañaga and also Mike Bray at 6-9 having some success.
You know, we call that modest success.
Yeah.
Modest success.
Proctor all the way to the rim, can't finish it.
I wish Mike Bray the best as he enjoys retirement in a couple months.
5 on 4. Omier comes up with a loose ball and is headed to the line.
You've heard me say it a few times today. This kid is quick off his feet, not once, but twice. And this is a good example of why length doesn't matter sometimes when you have a guy with this kind of athleticism at 6'7".
The guy went to Miami Prep from Nicaragua, became the first player from Nicaragua to attend a D1 school on scholarship, went to Miami Prep, went to Arkansas State, put his name in the portal, and kind of a natural comes back to Miami.
We're spending some time here the last couple of days. This is a great international city. He is a good player. Enjoy watching him.
Yeah, we asked Jim Larrañaga, what do you like best about coaching him? And right away, big smile, and he goes, his personality. Yep. Everybody loves him. 17-point lead for the Hurricanes. Mitchell by Wong, hesitates and hits, and a chance for 3.
I like that. Good job by Mark Mitchell. He got to the paint, came to a good 2-foot stop, gathered himself, pump faked it, and then went strong. Watch this right here. 2-foot stop. Omier leaves his feet, and a good finish by the freshman from Kansas City, Kansas.
Guy's had a couple of big scoring games, 17 in one, 15 in another. Known more, though, for defending on the wing, a guy who can play a number of positions defensively.
You know, Dan, in college, his best position is really as a four-man, but not on this Miami team because of Filipowski and Lively.
Yeah.
I think he'd be a Jordan Miller type for this, for Duke. He'd be a Jordan Miller type for this Duke team.
Pack threw it too high for Omier. And Young flying down the court, and that's the first time tonight Duke has scored on 2 consecutive possessions.
And a great pass by Filipowski. Good job by Young to run the court.
And Isaiah Wong, Jim Larrañaga, Miami will call timeout with 57 seconds left in the first half. Been dominated by the Canes, but it's down to 12.
Who says you can't get everything you want? Like going for bold without going broke. And staying true to your taste while staying on budget. Who says rising costs means lowering the bar? Settling? No need. Get the brands you want, the prices you want, whenever you want. TJ Maxx, where you can always afford to be you to the max.
Duke's got 4 losses in ACC play this year, all of them on the road. Everybody knows that winning is tougher on the road. They've lost in some tough places. They are down 12, a very young team. Hard for young teams to learn how to thrive away from home.
Yeah, there's no question.
So.
They had a chance to win the Virginia Tech game. They were blown out at NC State. Dan, one of the things I'd like to see right here from Jim Larrañaga, if they do it, is the 2-for-1. And in order to do that, you got to put this ball up at about 42 on the clock to get that second possession back.
Miller, 2 more. And he's got 14.
That's a professor on the sidelines right there. If Miami's able to get the defensive rebound, or even if Duke scores, they'll get the last shot.
Boy, Filipowski for a big guy. How about that agility?
Yeah, no question about it. And they've got to find a way to keep getting him the ball. The biggest thing is post feeding him against that pressure.
Shot clock turned off. Closing seconds of a first half that Jim Larrañaga's got to be really happy with. Five seconds. Pack. Omier! Boy, you can't execute much better than that, can you, Fran?
No way. Nigel Pack gets downhill. Omier sneaks along the baseline, and length is overrated when you have that kind of athleticism.
40-26 for Miami over Duke. Andrea is with Jim Larrañaga.
Coach L, 11 forced turnovers in that first half. How would you describe the defensive effort?
Yeah, I think we were very active with our hands. We were swarming the ball pretty well. We got off to a great start, and since then it's kind of been going back and forth pretty even.
You mentioned going back and forth offensively. How has Jordan Miller been able to be effective despite multiple defenses?
Well, it depends on the defense they're playing and how do we utilize Jordan against the zone. He plays the middle of our offense against the zone, and he has the decision, shoot or pass, and he makes great decisions.
Coach, thank you.
Thank you.
Jordan Miller with a big first half. 14 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Packed to Omier to finish it off. The Jeep halftime report with Fonz and Seth. Here's Kevin Agandi.
Dan, thank you so much.
A very impressive first half for the Miami Hurricanes, led by as many as 17. They lead by 14, going to the second half trying to avenge a defeat to Duke a couple of weeks ago at Cameron. 20 more minutes of basketball to go, but a great first half for Miami.
Yeah, and Nigel Pack, one of their leading scorers, hasn't scored. The ball was moved exquisitely, whether it's man or zone. Take a look. Duke goes zone, 2-3 zone, and watch how effortlessly Jordan Miller works the middle of the lane right there. It's not a defense Duke plays a lot. They went zone to try to stem some momentum, but great ball movement, and you put the ball in this guy's hands in the high paint, you can kiss it goodbye.
They turned Duke over, they capitalized, and they played the 50-50 balls. They won most of those. It felt like they played hard. It's a tough group. Let's go to Dre.
Yeah, Dan, I caught up with Coach Scheyer just a minute ago, and he said a lot of things went wrong, but the biggest issue is we are playing soft. They've got 8 offensive rebounds. They're getting layups. They're running on us in transition. He said we have to be tougher. We have to compete if we want to get back into this game.
Yeah, and I think, Dre, the key is going to be, I want to see the first 5 minutes for the Blue Devils and see if some paint got scraped off that locker room wall inside.
Omier with the offensive rebound and somehow forced it up and in.
Powerful young guy. And again, we talk about that length of Duke, but it's not physical length just yet. That guy is physical.
6'7", and he's been playing against one of 2 7-footers all night long. Roach into Filipowski. Got it back, lost it, looks for the foul call. Miami the other way. Pack the kick. Poplar from the corner. What a start for the Canes again.
That summarizes this team. Remember what we said? Nigel Pack did not score in the first half. Had an easy opportunity for the layup, and he passed it up.
They bolted out of the gate quickly at the beginning of the game, and it looks like they're doing it again here in the second half. Ooh. Yeah, and the carry is called there on Proctor. Eight offensive rebounds. Miami turned them into 16 points. Duke had 9 offensive rebounds, but it wasn't nearly as effective converting on them. And just 1 for 8 from 3. The Blue Devils not a good three-point shooting team.
No, they're not, and you're not finishing inside because they are playing soft inside, Dan. I think John Scheyer was right. I mentioned a couple times the double pumping inside. You talk about a tough competitor that this guy was, and this is not the team he wants to see on the floor right now.
Coming off an emotional win over North Carolina Saturday at Cameron, and they walked into a hornet's nest here tonight, didn't they? And again, this Miami team is good. 9-4 in the league. They are the ranked team. They went to the Elite Eight last year. They've got a lot of players back from last year's team. Stolen away. Still loose. And finally the held ball. The possession arrow will keep it with Duke.
Well, I like the idea that Mark Mitchell went on the floor, but Jeremy Roach, watch right here. This ball is on the floor. You got to go dive on this ball. And Mark Mitchell finally with a little bit of grit. And I think John is right. You know, as a former coach, I want to see these Duke kids grow up. And I think right now the talent is there. It's a little bit more of this toughness that we've talked about.
Boy, there were 4 seconds on the shot clock, but Filipowski put it up right away. Airballed it. A rejection at the other end.
Look how open Lively is right here. You've got to find him. We said that in the first half, Dan. That pick and roll is there, but you got to have vision.
Long with a baseline jumper.
I'll tell you, that is always an automatic for a shooter, because when you practice that inbounds play in practice, he always shoots it. So it becomes second nature.
7-0 run to Miami to start the second half.
Dan, not only is this perfect execution of an inbounds play, watch Isaiah Wong, but when you work on this play in practice 5-on-0, the guy coming off the screen always shoots it. So he's used to catching it, shooting it, and I bet in practice, even 5-on-0, he makes 8 out of 10. It's a natural reaction when you're that open on that play.
20 players are on the Wooden Award late season watch list. Isaiah Wong is one of them. Kyle Filipowski another. Blakes is into the game now for Duke. Proctor's gone to the bench. Mitchell rejected by Omier. Shot clock at 6. Filipowski no. Omier the rebound. Pack got the switch. Finds the open man in Poplar. The scoop up, no, and off the rim. Ripped away by Wong. Well, he just wrestled it right away from Lively.
That play indicates the game tonight, right there.
Then a little double clutch for Nigel Pack and his first points of the night.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, Isaiah Wong, that's that playground play when it's 10-all and you got to play to 11. Because one guy wants it and Wong does. This is a tough, hard-nosed team.
Roach slips a little bit on the drive. Now the kick to a wide open Blakes. Lively the rebound. He'll kick it back out. And Roach will knock down a three. Just the second made three-pointer of the night.
Nicely done. Yeah, nicely done by Derek Lively. If he's not going to dunk it, kick it out, look for a shooter. When I watch Omier play, you see that screen? He's been this size his whole career. He knows how to play against length.
And out of bounds to Duke.
You know, you think about him at being 6'7", Dan. He's been doing this his whole career. You know, and I remember P.J. Tucker when he was in Texas. Guys this size know how to use their frame to push those tall, skinny guys out of the way. He's been doing that forever.
Played some baseball when he was a kid. And again, 6'7", 250, the Sun Belt Conference Player of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year a season ago.
What's that tell you? He's a double-double machine, even at this level.
Ryan Young back into the game for Duke. Roach. And Filipowski, it hit him. He had the right idea, but it ricocheted off Miller and then hit Filipowski on the way out of bounds.
Well, when you talk about toughness, remember Jim Larrañaga is from the Bronx, from Parkchester, so he knows a little bit about toughness. Take a look right there. That ball, it's last to touch when the ball hits somebody out of bounds, and it did hit Filipowski.
The handoff to Pack. And Blake's down with it for Duke.
Good job by Ryan Young. That's the second time tonight he's beat everybody down the floor, the transfer from Northwestern.
18-point lead, Miami, 4.5 into the second half. Miami 9-4 in the ACC, Duke 8-4. And Pack on the drive is fouled. It'll be on Filipowski. We will step aside. Tell you a little bit more about Jim Larrañaga. What a wonderful life and career in the game of basketball he has had from his playing days right up to today. '73-year-old Jim Larrañaga, as we showed you going to break, he was a player coach on his freshman high school team as a 14-year-old. Grew up loving watching Bob Cousy and played for a legendary high school coach in New York City.
He did. He played for the great Jack Curran, who won over 1,000 games. He actually coached Kenny Smith and Kenny Anderson. Jim Larrañaga wanted to go to Boston College. Bob Cousy came down to watch him. He didn't have his best game, he said. And after the game, Bob Cousy said to him, "Hey, who's number 42 on your team?" That happened to be Kevin Joyce, who later played in the NBA. And he said, "Kid, you're not good enough. You're probably a Division II player." Jim Larrañaga went to Providence to play for Joe Mullaney, recruited by Dave Gavitt. And in his first game against Boston College, he had 38.
And then had 28 in his second game, and then was drafted by the Pistons in the 6th round of the NBA draft. But found out he didn't have a guaranteed contract, and it became obvious he was going to be cut at the end of training camp. And he said, "You know what? I got some opportunities maybe to get into coaching," and he took them.
Yeah, he's so old school. He told us today that he doesn't watch a lot of basketball except for the ACC, and he goes to bed watching Gunsmoke.
Yeah, we were actually talking about baseball, talking about the Marlins players being here. And I said, "Were you a Yankee fan growing up?" And he rhymed off almost the entire 1961 Yankees, but he said, "I don't watch baseball now." And I said, "What do you watch?" He said, "I watch us," meaning Miami.
Yep.
"I watch the ACC. I watch movies. And if he came over to my house at 10 o'clock at night, I watch Gunsmoke to help me fall asleep."
Exactly. And he's not going to sleep well. He's not going to go to bed early tonight because of the way his team is playing. I'm telling you, this is a feeling when you get when your team is on fire, because all the stuff they're doing, Dan, it's practice.
Yeah.
It's the classroom, and that's what he is. He's a professor.
So Norchad Omier, 1 for 10 from three-point range on the season. 2 for 2 tonight. Young with the lay-in. Let's go to Dre.
Not trying to date myself here, guys, or reverse date myself, but what is Gunsmoke?
There's a Wikipedia page. It's an old Western TV show that us old guys, Dre, used to watch probably in the 60s. I go back to the 60s, not as long as Coach L, but.
So, Fran, would you say it's as entertaining as Miami's offense has been tonight?
Let's put it this way: the way Miami's shooting tonight, I think they would fare well.
More entertaining.
In any Western.
Yes, I think if Coach L has a choice later on tonight between watching this game or watching Gunsmoke, I think he's going to watch the way that his players have performed so far tonight.
Now, he is old school, right? Is there anything that we can show that shows how old school he is? Do you have a money clip?
I do not have a money clip.
I don't even carry cash anymore.
Well, look at him.
He's got a money clip. I've known him 40 years, and here's what you said best today at practice. You'd want your son to play for
you'd
him.
send your kid to play for him in a heartbeat.
Yep. He's the ultimate teacher, professor.
Let's bring in Trey again.
Well, you guys just mentioned the money clip from Coach Larrañaga, but also earlier in the game, he yelled out onto the court to A.J. Casey to tuck his jersey in. So still sticking to some of those old school concepts on the court.
He's had a lot of success in Miami, an Elite Eight last year, won an ACC tournament title with Shane Larkin and a bunch of great players. That was a terrific team. An older team, a tough team, some similarities to this group.
Very much so. And, if you think of what he's done here, like Mark Few at Gonzaga, Scott Drew at Baylor, the transfer route to get guys to come here. By the way, it shouldn't be too hard to recruit Miami. Good hustle.
But then Lively stepped out of bounds. Well, looking ahead, Miami's next game, they are back here with the Watsco Center Saturday night, hosting Louisville. You can see that one on the ACC network beginning at 7 o'clock Eastern time.
Now, it's a 20-point lead, but you can tell, because we're right courtside, a little bit more toughness and ferociousness from Duke the last couple minutes. They have to kind of string some stops together now.
Joseph, well short. Lively might have gotten a piece of that one. By the way, Miami a week from tonight in Chapel Hill against Carolina. 0.8 of a second on the shot clock.
This can be a catch and shoot, but it's got to come out of the shooter's hands quickly. Remember the play they ran earlier?
Here
it is.
Got it off.
That's execution right there.
I mean, that's a really clean look on the same play again. And Wong a little bit frustrated he didn't knock it down. First sellout of the season here in Coral Gables, and are they having fun so far?
Those big guys are open on the pick and roll, but they're not being seen.
And Blake's fouled on a three-point attempt by Harlan Beverly. Beverly didn't love the call, feeling that maybe Blake sold it a little bit. Broke his nose in practice January the 17th, and he's been Batman ever since.
This Duke team has not had a full squad, but maybe half the season, Dan. They don't have Whitehead back yet.
Lively late getting healthy. Roach missed some time.
See that leg kick out right there? Not a big fan of that. Now, oftentimes there's contact up top, so the call is good.
Nigel Pack back into the game now for the Canes. There are the injuries you were talking about. Roach missed 4 games. Blake's playing with a broken nose. Whitehead was out with a broken foot at the beginning of the year. Now has missed 4 in a row with a leg injury.
Yep, and Dariq Whitehead can really give them some scoring on both on the perimeter, and he's a power guard.
Miller, way too strong on the 3. Lots of time left, but Duke's got to string together some stops and scores. Off the foot of Roach. Fortunate it bounced to Blakes.
I'd love to see those guards turn the corner and pick and roll with their head up. Those bigs are open on the roll. Right here, take a look now. Keep your head up.
Blakes tried to do it himself, and Young over the back for the foul. Timeout on the floor with Miami leading by 18. And they honored their all-time greatest player before the game tonight. We'll tell you more on that when we come back.
Type 2.
Well, without question, the greatest player in Miami history is Rick Barry, one of the greatest players in basketball history, plain and simple. His senior year, no three-point shot, kids, averaged better than 37 points per game, wore number 24, but graciously allowed it to be, quote, unretired this year so that Nigel Pack could wear number 24. And there you can see Pack's got a little patch on his jersey with Rick Barry's name and number, honoring the fact that he's wearing Rick Barry's number.
And Rick Barry is, to your point, one of the greatest players to ever play the game of basketball. He was Larry Bird before Larry Bird.
Walker, soft touch with a mid-range jumper, and Miami's lead is back to 20.
One thing I enjoyed about Miami's start to this half is they did not let up. They came out of the line. We were hoping that we'd see Duke get after it, and Miami, look at this.
Boy, an easy steal, and the lay-in by Beverly as Blakes telegraphed it. And now it's 22, and it looks like Blakes is coming out. John Shire has sent Jaden Schutt to the scorer's table.
This is the danger that we're watching. This is a talented young Duke team, but this is the danger in college basketball of old versus young.
Yeah, and a very hungry, tough Miami team. And here they go again.
Watch out.
Oh, Amir lost it on the way up. Now he's got to hustle back on D. Proctor knocks down a three. And how about a 5-point swing just like that?
It's about the only mistake he's made tonight.
Wow.
His 2 threes, that's his career high coming into tonight. In his career 2 threes, he's made 2 tonight.
He might have been thinking about how he wanted to dunk that on the way up. Well, Harlan Beverly says, I got you.
Yes.
I got you, big guy.
That's a perfect example, Dan, of the spacing we talked about. They've done a lot of things well tonight. We haven't seen the beauty of the offense, but right there we have.
A very good offensive team. 11th nationally per KenPom. Best in the ACC. Young with a drive. Omier got a piece of it, but he's called for the foul.
Norchad Omier, the first Nicaraguan to get a Division I scholarship. Watch him work inside. It doesn't matter that he's undersized. He doesn't know he's undersized. He's been playing against big guys his whole career and getting the job done. And then tonight, the bonus, the cherry on the top. 1 for 10 coming in. He's made 2 threes.
Averages about 14 and 10. He's at 15 and 9 so far tonight. And how about the sweet assist?
Beautiful. One-hand pass. Made famous by Pete Carrill in Princeton. You know why we teach the one-hand pass, Dan? Because it comes out of your hand quicker. Remember how in junior high, you were two-hand pass?
Yeah.
No. Backdoor cut, we throw the one-hand wrist pass.
How about 15 assists on 23 made field goals for the Hurricanes tonight?
By the way, I thought that was the best possession of the night for Duke, ending up in the free throws by Young. With patience and ball movement.
And with that rebound, Norchad Omier has his 11th double-double of the season. Joseph puts the brakes on, almost turned it over. Pack up top off the backboard, and it's Duke ball.
He was thinking lob right there.
Boy, and Duke's just been loose with it all night long, and the turnovers turning into layups at the other end.
Beautiful basketball. At Duke's expense, this is a very fun team to watch.
Boy, and you think the Blue Devils got a lane to the goal, and Miami seals it off.
Yep.
Proctor, no. And again, here they come in transition. Beverly. Long rebound out to Pack.
Great to see Beverly out there. Missed most of last season with that back injury. Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. Stopping on a dime, but couldn't knock it down.
Well, he did that Saturday at Clemson. Perfect footwork.
Young, nice extra pass. And the flush for Lively. Still a 20-point lead.
Jim Larrañaga is just calmly on the sideline trying to just settle his team down. Talk about well coached.
We've watched him during timeouts too. It's funny, like halfway through the timeout,
He's got nothing else to say.
he's done talking to the team already. What's he going to criticize them about?
Yep. Well, what I love about this guy is 90% of the coaching comes in practice, and then he just watches his team execute it. It's like artistry.
Another steal. Numbers again. O'Neal finished this one. The rout is on in Coral Gables. Miami keeps turning them over and adding to its lead. Kevin, thank you very much. We are the same. Always great to watch a big-time matchup from the Fog. And how about a great NBA doubleheader coming your way on Wednesday night? It'll be the first-place Celtics taking on the Sixers at 7:30 Eastern Time. And then Kyrie Irving is expected to make his debut for the Mavericks as they take on the Clippers in the nightcap, the second game of the doubleheader. Former Duke great Carlos Boozer and two basketball-playing sons. Right?
Yes, his sons are outstanding prospects. Seen them at USA basketball camps, and you'll hear from the Boozer boys before.
Jaden Shoot. That's what, I guess if your name is Shoot, you better be able to shoot.
You better not be a 31% free throw shooter. I know that.
Yeah. And that's what he can do.
You'd literally have to change your name.
Yes.
To Dean Meminger. That's the name out of the past. Oh, how about if his first name was I Can?
And, hey, knocks it away, getting involved at both ends of the court.
Man.
Wow, another turnover. That will be 18 turnovers on Duke tonight. And how many times have we seen Miami go down at the other end and convert?
Yeah, no question. But watch the ball movement here. They're just poetic.
Out to Wong with 7 on the clock. Nice little shot fake. Poplar steps in and knocks it down. Can't do it better than that.
You remember what Jim Larrañaga told us today about Poplar?
Go ahead.
Mid-range, he's murder.
Lively at the other end. Yeah, Coach Larrañaga said right now the best part of Poplar's game is that pull-up mid-range jumper. When he figures out there's other ways to score, look out.
Oh, man. I looked at him as a dirty work guy.
Poplar with a dozen tonight. Wong. Beautiful feed and the finish for Walker.
They're just so much fun to watch in the half court.
Not this time for Shoot. Miami's done a much better job in the second half too, keeping Duke off the offensive glass.
Yeah, no question. And watch how they grind Duke's defense out now.
Walker spins and lays it in. With all the highlights they've had tonight, that one might be the best of them. Roach at the other end for Duke.
And he got that because they are so good at spacing the floor and playing 5 out.
Boy, what an outstanding performance at both ends of the court for the Hurricanes tonight. Miller cradles it. And the follow is there.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Pack. He's 5'9".
He can't believe
he
what
can't
he just
believe
did.
it either.
Yeah. And yet another turnover.
Oh,
ooh, led him too far.
watch this now. You talk about great footwork right here. Anthony Walker getting it done, and then I don't believe what I just saw right here. Take a look at this. Oh, man. You know what I like about him? He didn't score in the first half, Dan, and he never changed his expression.
Yep. The guys in the white and the orange are having a lot of fun tonight. It's a much different vibe on the other bench. Foul called on Joseph.
Well, we've been talking about that beautiful basketball all night. We have to speed it up for you, Dan, but at least you get an idea of how beautiful this offense can be when virtually everybody touches it on the possession.
Wow. Now up to 20 assists on 30 made field goals tonight, an outstanding percentage. And again, this is no fluke. This is a really good team, a ranked team, an experienced team, and a team that needs to be reckoned with the rest of the way in the ACC. And John Shire and the Blue Devils, they knew that coming in. They only beat them by 2 at Cameron a couple of weeks ago. Yep. This Miami team they're legit.
Well, they're kryptonite for a tall, lanky, not great shooting, not great ball handling team like Duke right now, because the way they play offensively and defensively is hard to guard. They won't take a bad shot.
Offensive foul on Omier. Let's take a look now at how Duke is doing on the road. Brought to you by Conrad. 4 losses in ACC play.
And it started early, Dan. The turnovers were, I think, a critical factor. Take a look right here. You come out on the road and you have to play clean basketball, and that's not a description that I would have for this young team tonight.
Yeah. Duke's rotation still evolving, roles still evolving a little bit. Whereas Miami, they know exactly who they are.
That's exactly right. Yep. It's hard. You play, and this is the pitfall of playing a team with so many freshmen.
Roach the kick. Blake's in the corner. Grandison. And look at the rebound by Poplar, and he's fouled by Roach to take us to the under 4 timeout. The Miami Hurricanes having fun up and down the roster, up and down the bench, here in front of a sold-out crowd. It is that, Kevin. Thank you very much. We also can't wait. Get back to the hotel, maybe hang around in that lobby area and watch that Kansas-Texas game. Dan Shulman, Fran Fraschilla, and Andrea Carter. Dre?
Yeah, guys, this crowd has been absolutely incredible. And we saw Rick Barry earlier. I was just asked this question, Fran. I'm going to pitch it to you.
Yes.
Between Pete Maravich and Rick Barry. Who's the better scorer?
Ooh, that's a good question. Wow. Man. I would have to say overall Rick Barry in his pro career, he was just, Pete Maravich is the all-time leading scorer in college. He was a great NBA player, but Rick Barry won an NBA title with not a lot of all-stars on that Warrior team back in the late 70s.
I tell you what, whoever you choose, the consolation prize isn't bad.
Not bad. I agree. And those guys did it when there was no three-point line. Think about that. Although Rick Barry did play with the three-point line in the ABA.
76-52 Miami.
And by the way, after Rick Barry left here, they did without basketball for 15 years.
That's right. Yeah, the program was shut down from the early 70s until the mid-80s. Mitchell from the corner. And Lively will finish.
You know, he hasn't been spectacular tonight, but Derek Lively does what he does. He's done a good job on the glass. He's played with good energy.
Last year, big win around this time at Carolina. Then they go to Virginia, lose, or at home against Virginia, lose by 1 this year. Get an emotional win over Carolina on Saturday. But we don't want to imply that, Miami came out and they took the game to Duke from the opening possession of the game here tonight.
And remember, Miami had a tough road game at Clemson Saturday. Well, they had to get back here and get ready for this game.
And the next game for Duke at Virginia.
Oh, boy.
On Saturday. Not an easy task.
Well, obviously Whitehead coming back will help them some. They have to eliminate turnovers. If you eliminate that, you give yourself 7, 8, 9, 10 more field goal attempts, maybe more a game.
Grandison has to force it up, and I think a foul was called before the expiration of the shot clock, and it was. It'll be a foul on Miami's Harlan Beverly. Again, coming up next, a big game at the Fog. It'll be Texas and Kansas. Can't wait to watch that one minutes from now here on ESPN and also streaming live on the app. Some long faces on that at 10-3. Pitt and Virginia 9-3. Miami will be 10-4. NC State, Wolfpack are good, 9-4, and then Duke will be 8-5.
That NC State team, Kevin Keats, they're finally out from under that NCAA probation. You got Terquavian Smith, DJ Burns, a load inside.
Love watching DJ Burns.
Yeah, he's kind of like O'Meara a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what a job that Jeff Capel has done at Pittsburgh. Tremendous job. They got a kid, the kid Nelly Cummings played at Colgate and is having a historic Pitt career.
How about this step back from the corner by Joseph? Grandison with a weak side rebound.
And Coach Larrañaga was like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And we're up 20.
Yeah. There hasn't been a whole lot of that.
No,
tonight.
there has not. No.
If you're John Shire.
Yeah.
What do you talk about with your team when you gather tomorrow?
I think poise and toughness on the road, and you got to show about. All you got to do is show about 10 plays, the whole tape with them, and that would take 3 hours. I've been there, but maybe you just pick out 10 plays and say this cannot be us. Whether it's a 50-50 ball earlier in the game, sloppy passing. Remember the soft drives, the double pumps. The talent's here, and the maturity on the road has got to continue to evolve. Would you want to play them in the ACC tournament?
No.
If they're at their best? No.
The score actually flattering Duke a little bit right now. 17-point gap. Miami's led by as many as 26. Poplar. Oh, my. The exclamation point on the night.
Poplar, I'd say he's popular.
And that's a travel on Christian Reeves, but we got to get a look at the Poplar slam.
Oh, yeah. Take a look. Watch this. Young man from Philadelphia flying through the air. Now, I want you to take a guess. Watch this. I think Jim Larrañaga might be right about this as he heads into his junior year. And you know what, Dan? How many points does Nigel Pack have tonight?
5.
Yep. Does he look like he's still having fun?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Olga Poplar's got some vertical, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. He's got a lot, actually. I watch him on tape. I think of him as a glue guy, a defender.
There were 14 lead changes in the game between these two teams 2 weeks ago. The Canes led from wire to wire tonight. And they're serenading the Blue Devils out of the building. A whiteout, a sellout, and a good time was had by all who support the Canes. Why not? Why wouldn't that go in for Bensley Joseph? One more turnover, and the final seconds will tick away. What a performance by Miami. The ESPN rewarding performance brought to you by Capital One. We could have picked a bunch of different guys. Norchad Omier, you talking about putting in a good day's work at the office.
Yeah, no question. He plays with joy, which is what I like about him. He's happy as a clam out there. I might go get some clams tonight in Miami Beach. But this team is, we watch them, and they're together, they're connected, and they've got a great inside player.
in Omer.
17 points and 10 rebounds tonight for Omer. Miller had 16. Poplar had 14. Wong had 11. They moved the ball. They played hard. And again, they were the aggressor. They took the game to Duke from the moment the game began.
Yeah, no question. They were ready to play.
Andrea Carter is with Jordan Miller.
Jordan, just over 2 weeks ago, you all lost to Duke by 2. You turned that into a 22-point win here at home. How did you get it done?
Yeah, honestly, I think the fans really helped us. You know, it was electric in here. The home court advantage is always important. And we had something to prove. You know, they beat us last time. We were revved up for this game, and I think we got it done.
You mentioned something to prove. On the season, you all forced 11 turnovers per game. You forced 20 tonight. How did you get it done on the defensive end specifically?
Yeah, I mean, we were just amped up. I'm telling you, the crowd, we wanted to do it for each other. We knew this was an important league game. So, you know, we came to show out, and we did.
And Fran and Dan just talked about Norchad Omer. How would you describe his impact tonight for the team?
He's a beast. I mean, double-double. He's a double-double guy. He's our inside presence. I mean, he does a little bit of everything. He was hitting threes tonight, which is crazy. But, yeah, he's a great player.
Nigel Pack just jumps on you. He didn't score in the first half. Still looked like he was having a blast. How would you describe the chemistry of this group?
Yeah, the chemistry, it's just coming together. It keeps coming together. He had a put-back dunk. That was crazy. But, you know, we're all happy for each other. It's a team effort win tonight. You know, just good vibes all around.
You all are 16-0 when you win the rebounding battle. I'm sure Coach L will remind you of that. Congrats on the win.
Thank you very much.
Boy, you love the smile. You love him talking about how the crowd amped them up. You love how happy they are for each other. If you're a Miami fan, you got a lot to love about the way the Hurricanes play tonight. They avenge a defeat to Duke from a couple of weeks ago, and they do it in emphatic fashion, 81-59, in a great effort at both ends of the court. For Andrea Carter, Fran Fraschilla, and our crew, I'm Dan Schulman. Thanks for watching. Texas, Kansas coming up. First, back to the studio.
Dan, that's